discussion that I feel like this is going to get good. All right. So we're vibing after a honey gathering, and it's about filling in the gaps here. But yeah, so okay, cool. So what I love about what you just said was the relationship, and then we're talking about physical, metaphysical space, and we're talking about that there's a tangible physical space, obviously, but then there's a metaphysical space, and that the landscape of that space is a thing, no thing. There is something there, right? And the relationships between us is kind of where we build that space, and we do it over time, and it's like a relationship with the land. You cultivate the land, you invest in it, and it grows, right? And the kind of the abundance of these gatherings that we've been having is quite clear, right? Because it's you can see these blossoming sort of
the power of relationship that we see.
Yes.
You know, so like, you know, relationship with the land, you know, once you're in a relationship with like anything, or like, you know, humans, you care about that. You're responsible for their well-being.
Yeah.
And in turn, you're responsible for your own well-being.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just off by yourself, like, you're like, I can eat Cheetos, and like sleep all day.
Right.
But when you care about a thing and you care about its well-being, you take care of it. You take care of yourself.
Right.
You know, we take care of the land. Here, we're taking care of each other.
Right.
We're taking care of our neighbors because we're in a relationship with our neighbors.
We're in a relationship.
Here, we love them.
Yeah. Right.
You know, like a lot of neighbors in a lot of America are just, you know, we're like.
Yeah, they don't talk to each other.
They don't talk to each other because they're not in a relationship.
They're not in a relationship.
You know, it's like we have roommates, but we just don't talk to each other. But
yeah,
you know, once you start caring for something,
you're
in a relationship, and this is what this town does well.
Right.
And it is because we're close to nature. We got the creeks in here. We got the beautiful land. We got everybody here has that down in nature vibe.
And I'd like to point to the nature of our relationship to relationship, right? So we are elevating our relationship to relationship inside of a shepherd context. We're creating a container with the shepherds. I've always I think what the shepherd space is all about is the shepherds are like the ring. And then in the middle of the ring is where the wild, just like relationship budding is happening, and the shepherds are just holding space for it, and being a listening for. They're listening for that budding and those relationships to expand, and holding space for noticing the relationships being the metaphysical landscape for that sacred the I don't want to call it duality, but there's like physical, metaphysical, and that relationship between the physical and metaphysical is kind of what we're talking about, is a relationship between those two things. So that we are pointing to and holding space for that sacred sort of realization where it's physical and metaphysical and it's all becoming one thing. That is a sacred contract, and that is what Beyond Word is about. This is about building the foundation for the ancients, right? Building a foundation that people are talking about 5,000, but it's not about that. But like, we're talking about something that is not about like just fabricating, you know, a convenience, like a tool of some kind.
But if I can take you back a minute.
Here we go.
She touched on something really deep here in a few threads. You talked about this budding of the people in the center. Right? We saw that tonight. We've seen it several nights where new members or new people that we've met come into the space, basically strangers.
Yeah.
But the space is created, first of all, to be a safe space.
Yeah.
And then there are people shepherding, like you, who create a safe space for these people. You know what I mean? You go in, you look at them, you bring them in the present moment, you talk about what's beautiful about them.
Yeah.
This is that uplifting space.
Yeah.
Everybody feels a little vulnerable, a little open, uncomfortable with the acknowledgement of someone's beauty.
Yeah.
And that is what I see as holding the space.
Yeah. Cool.
You know, so like everybody can come into this beautiful space. We've created this safe space for relating, for connecting, for opening, for whatever medicine you need on that level of connection.
Yeah.
That spirit or universe or the ethers have called you into.
Yeah.
And when people are here, like everybody kind of acts as like a shepherd because everybody else is open, everybody else is vulnerable, and once that sharing, that openness, everybody feels safe to bring in their shit.
Yeah.
We talked about that tonight. You know, like it's okay to have stuff like this. Walking in this world is kind of hard.
Yeah.
And so like, don't be ashamed to like have your shit.
Yeah.
You know, don't try to put on a persona. Just like, I'm dealing with some shit.
Yeah.
We talk about it. Yeah. You know, and like
totally.
creating a space where people feel open, and by sharing your, you know, and once one person starts sharing,
it's just juicy, man. The whole space.
Yeah, it just really opens up.
And the thing that I notice about it, because I've seen, anyway, the thing that I notice about it is that it has, by not being about that thing, you know, that by not being about, like, you know, like you might have a, it's not that this is bad or this is like not what we should be doing, like in our, you know, help groups and whatnot, but by not being about helping, you know, like not being this is like a self-help workshop, right?
Right. So you're not coming as I'm a damaged person.
Yeah, right. Because in those self-help things, you actually have to say that. You have to say, dude, you're perfect, whole, and complete the way you are. You know, like they have to say that instead of it's just fucking implied. It's fucking all fucking made up, you know, and you know that you're an infinite sacred being.
Yeah.
Those guys are nuts.
They're tapped into the energy. They're never this wired.
That's so nuts, dude. They are tapped into the energy, aren't they?
Well, there's like they're bred to be self-help dogs. So like, if you're having a cry, they'll come up to you.
Yeah.
So like, when we're all buzzing and vibing,
they're feist. Like,
you know, they're feeling it. They're like, yo.
I'm gonna call them Lori's dragons.
I think there's a case for that.
I know. Totally, dude. They're awesome.
God.
What?
Oh, I can't wait to tell her. I'll tell you later.
What do you mean?
Everything's listed.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, especially recording. So, yeah, dude. So, yeah, I feel as though, it's really starting to. The space is really starting to have a quality about it, at least the facilitation of it, you know, that, and my goal wise is to help people do this. So that's what kind of the vision was with the Sheppards, was that we could kind of train this space in such a way so that, not that it's dogma, but just that it's trained, right? Like
it's intentional.
It's an intentional space.
And what Pan's gonna really love about this is it feels concrete.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Because we've been trying to let this coalesce to see. Like, you've been very intentional about like, I'm not gonna put any words around it because it's just gonna coalesce like the earth coalesced from just rock and debris.
Right.
Into this thing, like we didn't know what was gonna happen, what it was gonna look like at the end. We were just waiting for it to coalesce.
Yes.
But we knew connection was good because it made us feel good.
Yeah, right.
We wanted to get this out,
so we went with that.
And then as we started connecting and bringing in these beautiful humans, everybody's ideas started like bouncing around. We all just started connecting.
Yes.
It's like, this space.
It's electric, dude.
Is beautiful. Yeah. And we need more of these spaces.
Yes.
And you've always had the word shepherd, which you've never talked about like what that means.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we're shepherding other humans. It's never been like a job you're doing. It's just been called the shepherd.
Yeah, right.
And now you're like, no, a shepherd can hold the space of the flock
Yeah.
in a beautiful way that people can connect authentically.
Yeah.
And you see how powerful that is. Like, everybody left fucking
Just
happy.
Yeah, totally.
Just
happy.
like
Yeah.
light. Like,
Yeah.
all their worldly, whatever we've attached to, like,
Yeah.
we've been talking about this tonight. All the worldly, like, bullshit that we're carrying, our
Yeah.
regrets, our worried about loving too many people,
Yeah.
and, you know, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Because we're like, wow, that connecting, pure and simple, like, you just open up and we talk about some things and then it falls away.
Yeah, totally,
Like,
totally,
wow.
totally. Just go.
It's okay to feel how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I don't need to shit on myself like I should change this. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's just being human. Like, it's gonna be tender.
Yeah,
you don't
totally.
need to, like, fix your, like, pain.
Right. That's so rad.
Right?
Yeah, I'm glad we have. I'm
Because
glad we have
sometimes
some
you're just
things.
gonna be in pain. Like, you want connection. Really
Wait,
bad.
that one's the Boulder Dragon. The
Boulder.
Boulder Dragon. What's that one's name? Pepper. Pepper. These doggies, man. Cool. Yeah, that feels good, man. I like that. It was short and sweet.